What is up, everyone? I'm Jeff Lund, and this is the Mediocre Alaskan podcast, where we are intolerant of weak-minded attitudes that keep people from pursuing new and exciting things in the areas of fitness, outdoors, and general lifestyle. I'm going to talk some rural education, some real lifestyle with my buddy Corby Weidmiller, who's in Klawock, Alaska, on Prince of Wales Island. I am in Ketchikan on Revilla. You would think that if you grow up on an island in rural southeast Alaska that the education might be a little bit funky, but it's actually quite good, and the opportunities the kids have are pretty impressive. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about mentorship. We're going to talk about the value of getting after it, and that's coming up next. All right, so you just got back from Anchorage. What was that conference you were up there for?
It's called ASTI. I don't know that's one thing about education. There's always a million acronyms. That's half the battle. Just know all the acronyms. But it's a ed tech conference. So it's incorporating, STEM and technology into your teaching. And it was the first time I had kind of presented officially, in front of a group of peers, teachers from all over the state. So that was kind of nerve wracking. I came off the milk run flight and got in at like 10:30, got to the hotel 11:30 at night. And then I was first session, first day. So presented at 8:30 that next morning. And but it was good. Had a good support crew there, people I knew and helping me with the setup. And we were doing 3D modeling and printing. So we had all kinds of materials, and we had the 3D printer set up running, and I brought in a big duffel bag full of stuff, projects that the kids had made, and, so they could check out some lesson ideas. And it was a 3-hour session, but it went pretty good, but I had a lot of good feedback and people excited to start using some of that stuff in their classroom, and everybody got to model something, and we're getting them all printed out now and sent off to people around the state. So pretty cool.
It's kind of a weird dynamic in Alaska. You have such small school districts. Yeah. So each student is so important as far as getting funding, but because the schools are so small, you can get your hands on materials, and the opportunity to do things for these small classes is, much better. If you're at a massive district and there's 4 or 5 high schools and each one has a couple thousand kids, the sheer amount of materials you need is so much.
For sure. So, we're super fortunate where we are. I mean, we've got, state and federal grants specific for STEM, which I teach. And we have 2 3D printers in our rooms. We got, iPads and computers for just about every student. And it's definitely technology and technology overload here. I mean, it's not always going to be that way for sure, but we're pretty happy in the spot we're at as far as funding goes on that part.
Is most of that is federal funding, or is it state? Because I know the state's pretty rough with the oil prices being low. Was most of it federal?
Yeah. We got lucky and we got signed into 2 back-to-back grants that grant writers put forth, federal grants that were specific for like teacher training and STEM education, hands-on STEM. And that's kind of how I first got hired. Was one of those grants came about, and I had the science background, and they tied me in with another grant, and that's how I got my foot in the door. And then that grant rolled just right into another one that Craig put us in with. They attached several schools, and it was a math and science grant, and got us to go to a lot of places, a lot of cool trips for teachers, and meeting, networking with people, and getting all kinds of cool tools. We got a drone. We got, all kinds of good stuff out of the grant. We just did some ROV kits, robotics and some good college readiness, career readiness stuff for the kids. But
you think the kids really appreciate all the stuff that they have and all the technological and scientific resources that they have? Or is it just impossible for a kid to really appreciate it unless they?
I think they see it, but it's always that grass is greener on the other side, but it's just as hard to mow thing. It's you don't really see it till you get out somewhere else, and then you're like, oh wow, we had a pretty unique experience here. I can vouch for that coming from this area. just the unique educational experience. I mean, everything's got its drawbacks as well, but I mean, as far as where we're at, we got pretty fortunate for each student to have, what they have, I think.
Yeah. When I taught in California, the English options were, as a freshman, you could take freshman honors English, or you take regular English. Same thing for sophomores. And then junior and senior, it was AP or regular. And there was no other option. And so here, kids in Ketchikan are spoiled, and some of them wish they could choose other classes, but we already offer science fiction lit as a semester course, Asian lit, folklore and fairy tales, Shakespeare, sports lit, journalism. So all these options as juniors and seniors you can take in addition to your AP courses.
Yeah,
and
that's great.
I wish there was more offered. Are you kidding me? You can take adventure lit.
Yeah.
They don't know. I can't blame them because they only know what they've experienced. And so unless they were at a school that only offered two options as a junior and senior, they wouldn't have anything to compare it to. But
exactly. Yeah. It's that perspective thing. I mean, I think that's one of usually you think of the big drawback of a small school is, offerings, what's available for you when you only have 30 kids in a middle school. There's not going to be a lot of options as far as, you're going to have classes with 3 or 4 people if you want a bunch of classes. And that's just not, financially responsible. But, I hear you for a school like Ketchikan to have all that available. That's pretty impressive. Yeah. I think we do pretty good here too with, only 120 kids for our K through 12. We have a lot of really cool things that are offered. I mean, you're limited in some ways, but I think we got stuff going on here that a lot of schools don't. Yeah.
And if you were to change to that now, I'm not sure that would happen, but because it's been established, you can stick with it because it doesn't appear to have, hindered the education. KI is sending off kids to, prestigious schools all around the U.S. and they're doing well there.
Yeah.
But if someone in a different district down south were to try to take on that sort of model, I really don't think that it would fly with the high stakes testing. We can't cater to mythology, and we can't have an Asian lit class because how is that going to help on the high stakes testing, and how is that going to prepare them for college? Well, it's keeping kids engaged.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's change is always hard in any kind of platform for people, and if it's something that it's new or different perspectives. I mean, it's all about how you look at it and what you want the kids to get out of their schooling experience. I mean, what are we doing here? And
how did the wolf tracking turn out for your? You still got the boards out and you still taking the kids out?
No, we put that stinky project behind us, but it's always good when it's going, and it's always good to see it go. Yeah, we did pretty good. We had 2 different hair boards that got hair. I think we just got 2 this year. Some of our other partner schools had several more in their areas. So we actually got a hair sample on the very last day when we pulled the board. So that was a nice little bonus there. And yeah, just the logistics of that project. I mean, it's a great project for the kids to get out there and see some real science happening and, connecting with our local world. But man, you're packing stinky wolf lure in and out of the school. Everybody smells, you're getting dirty looks from the cleaning crew. And, it's good to be done, but it's great to have that, on your calendar every week. Hey, we're getting outside every week and we're doing something. So it's just cool.
It's amazing that some of the kids might not actually do that on their own time too.
Oh yeah. No, that's one thing it always blows me away. I mean, how rural we are and how small this community is and how much wilderness we have around us and how many kids are town kids, city kids, which is like almost an oxymoron for where we live. But it's, we'll do a middle school camping trip. And for some of the 6th graders, it's the first camping trip they have ever been on. It's like, what have you guys been doing? But yeah, no, it's important to, get them out there. And it's cool when you have those kids that, stick around town and don't get out much. And they're like, whoa, this is kind of cool out here. There's a lot going on. Hey,
one of the issues I think nationwide is that mentorship sort of thing. A kid isn't going to just go out there and do that if they don't have anybody to kind of share the experience. And it takes an adult at some point to show them how to fish or how to hike or hunt. And
having the tools, having the transportation. A lot of kids just hoof it around here. They're walkers, and to get a lot of the nature spots. I mean, there's a lot of stuff real close by to town, where we're checking those boards. It's not that far of a walk, but still, you're right. Having the adults in your life, the mentors that are going to take you out and teach you. And I shouldn't say a lot of our kids are not into that. There are many that are very involved with the outdoors, but it always surprises me that any, don't get involved in, or have not yet got involved in a lot of the natural beauty of our island, all the activities you can get into.
Anytime it's one or two, that seems like one or two too many, especially when there's a river that pretty much is in town.
Yeah, right across from the store, man. Just walk where you're getting groceries. You go get some more. You just grab some salmon and steelhead there.
Over in Ketchikan, you got a bigger population. There's a lot of kids. Journalism class, I got a couple of kids who want to write about the outdoors and hunting and fishing and this and that. And they love the fact that, wow, they can get an English credit for writing about steelhead fishing and doing article reviews on some of the gear that they use. But there's a couple of them that, we talk hunting, and it's funny to see they hold their secret spot because they go out by themselves, with friends. And so it's a couple 17 or 18-year-olds that are going out hunting together, and they have their spots, and they're pretty secretive about it too. They've learned the preciousness of your secret hunting spot, which is kind of neat. Same thing with fishing. We're over by, this island, but they're not giving up details. And so it's, just to see how they value that. They have something in their life that's theirs, and they have ownership of it, and something that's really important and something that's real.
That's cool. The secret spot for sure is, it's kind of cool that a lot of people around here have, a place where they can go, and, it's not yours, but it's kind of yours. You have that emotional connection to it, or, a lot of places around here that I connect to, but there's certain places, that I'm not giving up. So I get that.
Even if that other people know about it, but because you don't know exactly who it is and when they go, it still seems private to you. Right. Growing up on the Walk River, there were spots that, in between the pullouts that we thought were, this is our secret spot. We had seen other people there. And when you get a little bit older, you think that's ridiculous to assume that a river this close with this many people near it, and by this many, a couple thousand, that, people obviously know about this, but it's kind of fun to explore and have that feeling of isolation, or of, you found and you've discovered something. To really make this a broad thing, I think that's definitely something that's missing. Did you end up reading Tribe by Sebastian Junger?
I just started it. I listened to his interview. He was on Joe Rogan, and I listened to two of his interviews, actually, the older ones. So I got the gist, and I'm really excited. I was into I got a book club, and it's like a 550 page book I've been plowing through here, called Papillon. Have you heard of that one? I guess they made a movie of it after, I think Steve McQueen's in it. It's a really good, like a prison escape kind of thing from the 30s. It's been really good, but I just started Tribe. So I'm excited.
The end of the introduction, when he says modern society has perfected the art of making people feel unnecessary.
Yeah.
That's just such a huge, and then the entire rest of the book kind of is research that he's done to kind of prove that. But it just seems like you can trace a lot of the issues that we're having with youth, especially to that. Out of boredom is too light a word, but feeling not connected to anything of real substance, and the detriment that's having, because it's such a pretty new problem. 2 generations ago, things were so different. And the modern teenager right now, we have no idea. And these things that kids are coming up with, or issues or ideas, or crusades. It's just so strange to think that that's even a thing because it's still so new. You and I grew up in a time where we know what it was like. We were conscious in a time where there was no internet, and it wasn't part of the social structure. And then as we got a little older, we kind of saw us. We were able to compare and contrast both.
No,
now that it's totally gone, and forever it is gone, and you're deriving so much of your self-worth and validation through digital means, which is, it's impossible for us to stay ahead of or try to figure out exactly what's going on in a teenage mind and understand it because it's so new.
Yeah, no, it's a crazy thing to ponder, and just like you said, the acceleration that technology has taken is scary, and it's amazing. And we look at our lives now and think about how were we doing that back in the 90s and stuff, and and then thinking about what are the kids 20 years from now going to be like. And
after years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. For anyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. I was hesitant about having to get a new phone and a new phone number, but with Mint, you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone and your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or for a family, and at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and to get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/waypoint. That is mintmobile.com/waypoint. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/waypoint.
If it keeps up with this pace that we're on, it's a scary thing, man. I don't know.
I think we talked about it before, the outsourcing of control and the outsourcing of entertainment. Mm-hmm. There was a level of self-sufficiency that you had to have growing up on Prince of Wales, because you didn't, there was a movie theater in Ketchikan, but there wasn't a mall. The social gathering places were at night going up to the school to the outside covered play area where people would play basketball. And so you'd get together and you'd have dozens of kids or who were there socially, but that was the social meeting point. Or you'd have friends get together and go camping after basketball games or go to the river. But now we're at the mercy of the digital social thing.
And I think the irony, I know what you mean. The irony of that whole thing too is I feel like kids are not doing, you have all this social connection and everybody knows what everybody's doing, but you look around and, there's so much less happening. I feel like as far as what the youth are, interact, they could get a hold of each other so quickly, but there's just not, there's not those kind of trips planned and things happening that even when, you didn't know where somebody was, but you went out and found somebody else, and that's how you met new friends and new connections. And, it's a different world for sure.
There's a weird sort of isolation, yet simultaneous lack of privacy. Because everything's out there, but we're not together. It's so weird and so bizarre.
Yeah. No, I hear you. That's it for sure.
You don't have the opportunities down south. How do you convince a kid to go outside, play, find real things, but in an urban setting? You go to the park, you go swing. That's not what teenage kids do. I can't imagine what it's like to be a kid down in the lower 48. Again, they have no frame of reference. They don't know what it's like to grow up in Alaska and have all these neat things to go outside and play. But sadly, I'm not sure that it's really surprising that if you go to any urban setting, it's pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's chains, restaurants and chain stores and houses and just the same thing.
It makes me think of one of the speakers was showing a video and kind of talking about just how, looking at things like Uber and Netflix and just the way that our day to day has been changed by some of these companies. Amazon, he had a video there of like, they showed the packaging process, like the shipping process of any one package from Amazon only touches human hands for less than 1 minute. Going from whatever that product is, almost all robotic, and just the acceleration of change. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Hard to think. Hard to get your brain around. But it does. We're kind of crawling out of winter now. Don't want to be too optimistic because last March was pretty horrible, snow-wise. But it is nice even though it's dark and it's cold and wet and snowy here during the winter.
Getting light.
You with a group of people for that misery, and that's it's kind of nice and it's still sort of refreshing. What are your favorite ways to get through the winter?
Well, I right now I'm just enjoying the family time. I got a 3-year-old and my wife's expecting 2 more on the way. So we've been pretty hunkered down, but, been getting out. I took my daughter up hiking the other day, went up the mountain, and she loves that, throw her in the backpack and, she always wants to get out and run around in the woods. And, so that's always a blast. This Christmas break, we had some family in town, some in-laws. So we got out and did our, did some, subsistence with, some shrimp pots, went out and did some shrimping and, set a bunch of crab pots. Took my father-in-law out. So that was a lot of fun. Got him out of the house and, we had a nice stretch of pretty decent weather there during the day. So sun came out and got to spend some time on the boat. Found some tanner crab, which I haven't had in a long time. Found a few king crab. So getting to eat some different things. And he froze up a few bags of shrimp. And so that was a lot of fun. And then other than that, I'm the business here locked down in the JOB. But it's not bad. I love coming to work and, we always got some new project going here at school. And I like all the subjects and my coworkers. So just really getting into family life and job life, but
because the island doesn't have a robust population. How do you deal with things socially so you don't necessarily just encounter humans when you're at work? What type of community type events or things?
I actually joined up. I used to go to open gym, so getting some exercise, going and shooting some hoops and playing some pickup basketball. Getting a little old for that. I got a couple dislocated shoulders.
Oh, couple, nice.
One too many. So that's no fun, but it's holding in there pretty good. I actually got on surprisingly, volleyball has been better for my shoulders than basketball just because of the no contact really. So I got on a 4-on-4 intramural team with a few friends and that competitiveness and exercise has been really good for the winter. Talked about the book club. We're meeting once a month except we got a lot of world travelers, but that's a whole different crew. And, guys would just get together in the evening for a drink or two and we'd end up talking about books anyway. So we just made it official and now we're, each person kind of rotates through, picks a different book. We just had a really good, just a really good selection, people trying to mix it up and do, finding some different things. We do some nonfiction, some fiction and, just having that discourse and intellectual conversation that is not a part of school, but I feel like is real important to, just like we're doing, talking about the changing world and what we perceive as real and all those important things. I think as you get older, sometimes you get lost in your day to day, and some of those bigger ideas, slip from you, and it's good to have that.
Yeah. Well, there's a big difference between talking it out with people, even if you have different opinions, throwing out ideas, and it's not necessarily a solution or a fix or a side. It's just what about this? You guys thinking about this? If you just subject yourself to the social media representations of all these things, then you can get a really uber focused, subjective view of things, and it can, without discussion outside of reading posts that are, who is this person? What's their background? And you're not able to really think things through. So it's nice to be with, because there's a lot of weird stuff going on. There always has been.
How much do you know about it? Yeah. It's the ignorance is bliss sometimes, but yeah, actually took a little social media hiatus this winter for about 2 months. Deleted my Facebook app and my account on a hibernation mode there, just to take a break from all of that. It was, I'd find myself, like you said, what do I want to spend my time on? What do I want to do? I want to spend time with my family. I want to spend time, with people that I enjoy. And, there's a lot of good stuff on there too, but, it was really nice to just not have that for a while. And I think it was a healthy thing. Yeah. It's,
if you're able to kind of keep it at a distance and just be kind of an observer of it, rather than try to comment and win. If you try to win on Facebook, then
you're doing it wrong. Yeah. And I have a few people there that I just enjoy, having a little political discourse with, and just kind of, people that have very differing views of how things should go than me. But we still, we're still friends, and we enjoy each other that way. The kind of competitiveness of one-upsmanship. But I don't think that's too healthy to get into on a regular basis. And then I don't know. I just find myself like, when I had my technology, I would open it and check it and scroll through it like you do. And you think, I've already seen this stuff. What am I doing? This is dumb. So I could be reading a book, or I could be, playing a game with my daughter, or, it's just funny when you open a browser and just hit that Facebook link, and it's like, no, I don't need to be on there. That's not really cool for my time. So taking a good break on that. It's been good.
Yeah. Especially now with days getting a little bit longer, if you're inside and it's, it doesn't get dark until later. So you're really wasting daylight. During the winter, it can be a little bit, you can kind of justify it a little bit more. I can't go to bed because it's 5:30, but it is dark outside. So what else am I going to do? But now that it's light outside, you better get your butt outside and do something productive. Shoot the ball, walk around, or just something. Enjoy the fact that you're starting to crawl out of winter.
Another day on this earth. You gotta appreciate it. I think it goes back to kind of what we were talking about too, is just, how things used to be. And, you had your address book, and if you're going to get a hold of somebody, you look up their number and call their house. And if they're not there, you figure something else out. And, that initially just getting rid of just getting rid of Facebook, you have that initial of like, oh man, I'm going to miss out on something. I'm not going to not know that something's going on. And, cause you think of all the things that you're reminded on there constantly. And I'll tell you what, I didn't really miss much, man. Life goes on, and the important stuff still happens. And, it's okay. Everybody can try it.
The stuff you can't control, you still can't control.
So, it was good.
Yeah, I can kind of get us into caring about things that we have really nothing or no control over, and get so emotional about things across the United States. And it's good to know about that, and it's good to be aware of that for sure. But, you can have a pretty big impact daily with the people who are around you. And And if you focused on that, you might be a happier person too. But that's immediate impact rather than posting about.
Yeah, no, I agree in that completely. I think, if you have a problem with something that's going on nationally, the best thing you can do is get involved locally, get together with people in your community, start building up from that groundwork. And that's where you're going to see the best results, and you're going to feel it the most. And, if you just sit there and complain about, anything going on in our national scale, that's just going to get you a lot of nowhere. And I know people can have big impact on a national scale, but you got to start with, your local government, your local organizations, and getting involved with helping people that are directly around you. And then that will spread. And I believe that completely.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's on the docket today? You're just prepping for school.
Just got back a couple days ago. We had parent teacher conferences, so those are late nights as well, but had some really good conferences. Always good to check in with the families here. And got another trip planned next week. So a week from today, heading down to Stanford. Down by the Bay Area down there. And so I'm excited for that. It's a growth mindset math conference. Doing a lot more traveling than I'm used to here. Usually try to maybe go to Ketchikan once a year, but here I'm out of the state. So that'll be good. And I'm really excited because my 98-year-old grandmother lives in Pleasant Hill. So it's about 40 minutes from Stanford. And I have not seen her in probably about 8 to 10 years. So pretty excited to, get a check in with her for a little while and see her again. Been way too long. So
Sweet. Sounds good. Yeah, I got, since I've been home for the last 3 weekends, I got a lot of stuff around the house to do, some cleaning, some laundry. I had a tarp failure with my boat, so I got to do some cleaning up there and some yard work. But man. Well, thanks for being on here. I'll let you go, let you get prepped. Have a good trip. And as always, nice talking to you, man. Take care of the island for
sure. Me. It'll be in good hands till you're back again.
That will do it for this episode. Make sure you check out the MediocreAlaskan.com for content, columns, and all things Alaska. And we will talk to you next time.